Erica here, and I'm here today with a review. Today I'm going to be reviewing Irlanda by Espido Freire. This was originally published in Spain in 1998. This translation was translated by Toshaya Kami from Spanish to English and was published by Fairy Tale Review Press in 2011. This is a tiny little book. It's about 130 pages. There are a few articles at the end, some critical articles about the texts, which I found very enjoyable. This is a story about a girl named Natalia. She, after the death of one of her sisters, is sent to stay in the country at the family estate with her cousins for a summer. And the cousins are kind of left in this old house by themselves without much adult supervision. The adults pop in every once in a while. But for the most part, these cousins, who are, I believe, to be in kind of their mid-teen years, are left to their own devices. They're tasked with helping to clean up the estate and do some repairs and cleaning around the house because it's kind of been abandoned and not cared for since the death of their grandmother. We know right away that Natalia is kind of an unusual girl. She seems to see ghosts, namely of a turtle and also of her sister who recently passed away. And throughout the book, she's a very unreliable narrator, which I really enjoyed. So she's kind of strange, and she goes to stay in kind of this old creepy house with her cousins, and her cousin, Irlanda, the title character, kind of develop this really complex relationship. Natalia's a little odd. She's kind of a very private and inward-looking person. She, like I said, sees these ghosts, and she kind of practices these rituals to keep the ghosts satisfied or the spirits satisfied. She also kind of is obsessed with collecting different specimens of plants and pressing them for her collection. Irlanda is kind of the total opposite. She is a very captivating and beautiful character. She's very powerful, she's well-liked, well-mannered, and very cultured. She attends a private school where Natalia does not, and has kind of this circle of friends or followers who kind of worship her. So she's very much the kind of popular girl and the it girl. And Natalia is just, like I said, a very thoughtful and quiet character. She's a little bit naive as compared to her cousin. Their relationship is complicated because the two characters do act kind of as foils for each other, but at the same time there are these underlying qualities that they each possess and have in common. For example, they're both kind of stubborn characters. They both place a lot of value on themselves and their own worldviews, even though their worldviews are very much conflicting. So this kind of tense and interesting relationship emerges between them because they have kind of these really hard-hitting characteristics in common, but are such opposites outwardly. I really enjoyed this book. It's very beautifully written. The description of the landscape, the imagery is really vivid. And what I most appreciated about the writing and the translation in this case is that this whole story is very much told from Natalia's perspective. And you're really immersed in Natalia's mind, and she's such an unreliable narrator, and she's quite strange, as I've already described. And because Natalia's a little bit of a younger protagonist, I feel like it could have been really easy for Freire to kind of write simplistically, as if she would imagine a girl in kind of her early to mid-teens would be thinking, and to kind of extrapolate that childishness and that naivete from Natalia. But it doesn't feel at all simple or childish, while at the same time maintaining a kind of realistic depiction of how Natalia might be thinking or feeling at this time. So that is one thing that I really loved about this book. The ending of this book is probably one of my favorite things. I don't want to spoil such a small book because that would be crazy, but a lot of people that I've talked to who have read this book was like, oh no, I totally saw that coming. But I did not see kind of the twist of an ending coming, and it hit me really hard. The whole time I was reading this book, it's just so atmospheric. I felt like I was really wrapped up in the story, and I was there, and I could see it and smell it and feel it, which is just mark of excellent writing, in my opinion. So overall, I would really highly recommend this. I ended up giving it 5 stars, which, if you know me, I have a hard time giving smaller stories 5 stars because they kind of just like flip away from me. I think I mentioned in my September wrap-up that if you are a fan of We Have Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson, you would really like this. I also think that fans of Sarah Waters would really enjoy this just because it's so atmospheric, and Sarah Waters kind of does that as well. It's got kind of a little bit of a ghost story element, a little bit of magic, an unreliable narrator, and beautiful writing, so it kind of ticked all of my boxes personally. And I hope you'll pick it up. If you've read it and want to talk about it, we can discuss it in the comments. If you have not read it and have questions about it, I'm totally open to answer questions. And I hope you all have a great day. Thanks so much for watching. I'll be back soon.